Well, good afternoon. We are on a new chapter, chapter 5, estimating with fractions. What I want you to do is go ahead and hit pause and, go ahead and hit pause and copy down this information. Well, the first thing they're talking about are compatible numbers. And again, these are numbers that are easy to divide mentally. Okay, they're also numbers that divide into each other evenly. So not only easily, but they need to be able to divide evenly. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3. The 4 is compatible with the 12. The 12 is compatible with the 4 as well. And 20 divided by 5 equaling 4. 5 and 20 are compatible numbers. Okay, so when we are estimating, and again, I cannot stress to you enough, we are again just estimating. We're just trying to be close. So when we're estimating with mixed numbers, remember that we are going to be rounding to the nearest whole number. That's what they're asking you to do. And that when you're doing this, you're always comparing numerator with the denominator. Okay, this is what we're looking at. Numerator compared to the denominator. We need to know whether it is a half or larger. Okay, that's the whole 5 or more, add 1 more, 4 or less, do not mess. Well, the reason we use 5 or more is because 5 is half. It's the halfway mark. So if it's a half or greater, you're rounding up to the next whole number. If it is less than half, then it is going to stay whatever that whole number is. So 3 2/3, half of 3, okay, is 1.5, 1 1/2. And when we compare that 2 to that, it is larger than 1/2. Therefore, we round it up to 4. The 5 1/6, again, half of 6 is 3, so 1 is less than 3. It's less than half. Therefore, it's going to stay a 5. And then pay attention to what that operation asks us to do. It could be add, subtract, multiply, or divide. All 4 operations could be used today. So 4 plus 5 then equals 9. Okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and try a few. I'll let you go ahead and hit pause and solve, and then we'll compare answers. So in this case, 6 2/5, again, half of 5 is 2.5. That's the halfway mark. Okay? So since this is half, 2 is smaller than 2.5. So therefore, this is going to stay a 6. Times 1 7/8. Well, half of 8 is 4/8. 7 is obviously much larger than the 4. Therefore, it is going to round up to a 2. Okay, remember, anything 1/2 or larger is going to move the whole number up. If it is less than a half, then it is going to it's not going down, it's just staying the same. Okay? So to finish this out, 6 times 2, and you get 12 for an answer. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. Go ahead and hit pause and solve this. Alright, well, half of 9, again, is 4.5 to 9. So 7 is larger than my 4.5, so this 8 is going to round to a 9. It divided by, and then half of 4 would be 2/4, and 3 is larger than that, so my 2 will round to a 3, and 9 divided by 3 is 3, so 3 is my answer. Let's look at our next problem. Now the directions for this simply say to round to 0, a half, or 1 whole. Okay, so again, we're using that same process of looking at possibly a number line. 0/3 equals 0. 1.5 over 3 is a half, and then 3 over 3 would equal 1 whole. So where does that 1, what is it closest to? Because again, we're not rounding to the nearest whole number. So this 1 is going to be somewhere in this area. Is it closer to 0 or is it closer to 1.5? And in this case, it is only a half away. It's 0.5 rather than 0 to 1 is 1 whole. So it is closer to the equivalency of 1/2. Then we have our 7/8, which would be 0/8, 4/8, and 8/8. And my 7 again would fall right in this area, closer to 8 than it is to 4. Therefore, it's going to round to 1 whole. And 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. Okay, or you can think of it as 1/2 of 1. And again, any number times 1 is that number. That's another approach when solving those multiplication problems. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our next one. Go ahead and hit pause and solve this. Well, my 5/6, again 0/6, 3/6, and 6/6. 5 is closer to my 6/6, which equals 1 whole. My 9/10 would be 0/10, 5/10 for a half, and 10/10 for 1 whole. 9 is closer to the 10, therefore it is 1 whole, and 1 times 1 is 1. Obviously, the difficult part for this is getting these rounded to the correct amounts. Let's look at our last one for this part of the rounding, and it does have a whole number in it. So again, this whole number would be closer to 2, 2.5, or 3. Okay, and then this one is 0/2 or 1 whole. Please don't forget that the word of means multiply. So go ahead and hit pause and solve this. So my 4/5, again 0/5, 2.5 over 5 is a half, and then, whoops, 5/5. My 4 is closer to the 5, therefore it's 1. And then my 2 wholes, you can leave those off if you like and just do 0/9, 4.5 over 9, and then 9/9. And the 1 you can see is much closer to the 0. So this answer right here, this is basically 2, 2, and a 2 over here, meaning 2 wholes, 2.5, or 3. And it is closer to 2, and 1 times 2 is 2. So now let's look at using compatible numbers. Again, we talked about numbers that were compatible, and what we are trying to do is look at this denominator. And we are multiplying, but we got to find a number that will go into this number equally. Okay, this is the compatible number. So a number that's compatible with the 3. This is the number we're changing. We're not going to change the fraction. It's this number right here that we have to change. So a number that's close to 14 that 3 would go into. So 3 times 5 is 15. That's the high end. We can do 3 times 4, which is 12. That's the lower end. 14 is closer to 15. Okay, so we're going to make this rounding to a 15. So 1/3 times 15. Well, what is 1/3 of 15? Well, you can simply divide that, which equals 5. And then you look at the numerator. How many of those 5s do we have? Well, it's saying just 1. If this were a 2, and it were 2/3, then we'd have to double this. We'd have to multiply this by 2. Okay? But it is not. It is just a 1. So my answer to this, 1/3 of 15, it is 5. Let's look at our next one. And I'm going to let you go ahead and hit pause. And you can, again, round these numbers to compatible numbers, numbers that will go into each other equally. Alright, so we are going to have to take these numbers and look at the whole number itself and find numbers that they would be close to be compatible with this. Okay, so if I look at this number 9 and 7/8, which is closer to 10, divided by, and then the 4 and 1/5, we got to find a number that's close to 4 that would be compatible to 10, which would be 5. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay. And again, there are other numbers that you eventually will see. There's a couple different paths that you might be able to take. Maybe you might have said, well, this one's closer to 8, and said that this is going to stay a 4, but you can see you still get 2 for an answer. Okay. If you have any questions, again, please take note of that, and we will discuss this further tomorrow. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.